What up, y'all? It's your boy. I'm really loud right now. Gotta turn my headset volume down. It's your boy A Switch coming back at you. Actually, let me I forgot to post the deets. Bringing you the very first episode of 2020. That's weird to say now. I think that's the first time I've literally said that out loud. Wow. 2020. 2020. Episode 38 of Switch's Sights. We back at it from a little brief hiatus break, if you will. 38 episodes. That's pretty commendable. Because what started out, I want to say, we might be coming around the anniversary of me starting this podcast. But that's neither here nor there. AKA the man with the fruit snacks, AKA the nigga with the Cali sticks, AKA wish I had some nunchucks right now so I can cause some wrath. Today's date is January 16th, 2020. I'm just gonna really say the year now. I don't really be saying the year like that, but just it's 2020. We don't get that many. We're never gonna get this again. 2020. 2020, that's every millennium, right? What next would be 3030. I won't even probably be here unless I'm on some Blade Runner type stuff. They give me I'm just all cybernetic, or maybe my personality, soul, essence is a robot. That'd be kind of cool. I'd want that actually. I don't know. People say they don't want immortality, but I don't know, man. That's a lot of games you can play that you may have missed out on in your lifetime. And then so many are going to be coming out still. I didn't mean to get all philosophical, but let's get back to actually the focus of this podcast, which is gaming and all nerd related stuff. I guess that's pretty much the best way to describe it. I don't want to confine myself too much, but essentially gaming is pretty much a safe box to put myself in. So yeah. So for those that don't know, this is Switch's Sights podcast, my personal podcast where I talk about video games and all nerd tech related stuff that pertains in that realm. So yeah, man, boy, it's a lot of stuff we need to talk about that I want to get off my chest because boy, some interesting things happened that I'm not too happy about. Or dare I say, disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. I'll give him the gotta give him the guilt. Gotta give him the you gotta make him feel guilty. Gotta make him feel guilty. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Oh, Dad, no. I wanted to prove myself to you. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll do better. All right, let's just get into it. Actually, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let me stop dilly dallying and go through some stuff. Cause man, I'm kind of covering 2 weeks past 2 weeks worth of stuff that we didn't or may have missed. Some of this is pretty much this week though. So, but man, boy, this is delay central, man. Boy, I'm not complaining though, but I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. So first topic, boy. So Sony, this little company that might just be, the head of the console race is they a little company or whatever. They released the PS4 that selling like what, like 500. I don't think 500 million. I think 100 million easy though. They got this little console coming out. People calling it the PS5. I mean, they released the logo of it already that looks just like the PS4, PS3. Yeah, I was thinking on Twitter, I saw that like it probably is what happened. Somebody just simply went into Photoshop and just removed the 4 and put 5. That's all we need. We did it, guys. I'm just imagining somebody just did that. There's a lot of other people behind them, and then it's kind of like what are those what do you call it, the space movies where they're all in the control center and they're nervous, and then they do it, and then right when that dude turns the 4 to a 5 in Photoshop, he has his monitor on display, everybody looking behind him like, oh, we did it, guys. Yeah, oh boy, yeah, man. Oh, PS5, yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. So, but I mean, in terms of the more deeper news, man, they released a car too. Why? But all right, I'm getting sidetracked. So they announced this was Monday that they're not attending E3 2020. The Electronic Entertainment Expo, for those that don't know, basically I'd say the Super Bowl of gaming, I guess, if you want to compare in that way. I guess maybe that's a weird analogy, but that's probably the best way to think of it. It's where a lot of media is gonna pay attention to gaming announcements and gaming news, new gaming hardware, like the Xbox One X, Series X. That's gonna be tough to remember. You'll know what I mean either way, obviously. But and then PS5, which at least normally would have been there, but they didn't attend last year's, which was more understandable because it seemed like there wasn't really much they had to offer with the few games that they did show separately or somewhere else outside of E3. But now it's like they have all the guns ready to just unload on everything, and they like, you know what? Yeah, I think we'll put our energy elsewhere, I guess. So that's roughly what they said in the statement. I'm not really gonna quote it quote by quote, but the general idea is that basically they're gonna announce their games in other venues and other, I guess, events. Basically, I could see them probably announcing or dropping like a PlayStation Direct. I forgot what they called it because they stole it from Nintendo. PlayStation, what is it? PlayStation Access? PlayStation Direct? No, it's not that. State of Play. So they're gonna do that, I guess, and then probably I think it's a pretty safe bet to try to take a little bit, probably at least around the window of E3. I could definitely see that happening in some way. We'll probably get the reveal next month. That's at least when the PS4 was announced, in the wake of it coming out too. So it's gonna be weird, man. This is probably the E3 I was planning on going to since I'm in the area. I was at least like, let me at least go to one E3 just to get that out of my system, just to get a full on experience with it. But I don't know. Now to like not seeing all the spectacle of, the warring console war, kind of see it in action. It's a little slightly disappointing, but who knows? Maybe we'll see as we get closer if it will be worthwhile going. At least Microsoft did confirm they're going to, and Nintendo's going to be there, but obviously they're still going to go with what's been working for them actually, really. with their Nintendo Direct. So it's yeah, it's weird. But I mean, honestly, Sony doesn't even need E3. I mean, they have, and this is what I said last time, that basically they already have the eyes, the fans. They're at the top of the head of the console race, so they pretty much could do whatever they want and get away with it. And then it makes, from a business standpoint, makes a lot of sense, because like, why waste all this money? Well, not necessarily waste. Some of it will, I guess, eventually come back in some way, shape, or form, but spend all this money to attend a venue to, and then, spend more money on the whole spectacle of E3 and the announcements and stage and all that, and then not be in full control of their, event, from a, I guess, building standpoint, and, a lot of dynamics that come into play, and, maybe different protocols and policies within E3 and stuff like that. And, maybe just Sony was like, we can save some money here, even though they don't need to. We pretty much know they're going to make a killing when the PlayStation 5 comes out too. But, yeah, man. It's just not, like, why we can save more money and not do that, and, be more smart about our announcements. And yeah, it's honestly, pretty sound idea. It's like, it's not like, at least from a logical standpoint, it's not like it doesn't make sense. But there's a lot of eyes that are on E3 when it is there, when the event goes into place. So nonetheless, I'm fine with it. It would be cool for them to be there, to kind of have the whole spectacle, like as it used to be back in the day, at least from when I watched, from all the various outlets and stuff. So, they'll be fine. If anything, it might even, turn more in their favor, technically. Since, it's like, oh, that's probably going to be the talk of the town. Wow, Sony isn't even here. All right. Yeah. Second time in a row, man, that's crazy. And then, that ball keeps rolling or whatever, I would assume. So, it is what it is. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. And then, boy, let's get into these damn delays, man. Goodness. So first you got Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Delayed to April 10th. Not actually too far from its original date, which is March 20th, I believe. So that's fine. And I guess before we get into this, like, I'm totally fine with delays. I mean, ultimately it's gonna make the game better at the end of the day, better than what it would have been if it released at a time, with the developers or the design team knowing in advance that we need some more time to make this more polished than what it is. So that's I'm totally fine with that. And also, I mean, man, I got this damn backlog. I like to get through some of the games still need to finish from 2019 that I'd want to at least mess with. Personally for me, that's for someone that's pretty scrapped for time, with a full-time job and other various things, this is totally fine for me personally. Let's say if I was like 15 and below or so, maybe even a little bit older than that, I'd be like, oh my God, can it, why, please, but man, as somebody with not much time as I used to, I'm fine with this. Take your time. Like I was saying, I was being dumb on Twitter. I don't even think people got the reference, but non-black people probably didn't get the reference, but during church when folks were people want to the pastor, he trying to be considered like, oh yeah, I know y'all need to go y'all need to go home today or whatever. But let me just praise the Lord. And then let me find, it's been a while. So
I know it's been a time that
yeah, that's too damn deep. That's too damn deep for y'all. Actually, that kind of works. Let's go with that. So the pastor be, I'm trying to contain it. I can't. I'm thinking of it and it makes me laugh. I'm sorry. Pastor be like, yeah, I know I don't want to take y'all time. I know y'all got some stuff to do today, but let me talk to y'all about the Lord. The old lady be like,
take your time, Pastor. Take your time. Take your time, all right? Okay, you talk, you get it out, okay?
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, take your time, Pastor, all right? I'm ready when you ready, okay? Because I want that to blow my face off, okay? I don't want to have anything on my face when that game done. I want to be blown away, all right? I want to be like just engulfed in that game. I want to just be submerged in that game. I want to be immersed in that game. I'm sorry, I'm probably popping. I didn't mean to pop, but I mean, hey, all right, this deserves it because I need to be engulfed in all of it. You hear me? Okay, all right. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's funny. They kind of go hand in hand the more you think about it. I mean, not in a like weirdly religious thing, but sure, whatever. Staying in line with that. And also I forgot about the heartfelt apology. And I mean, I'm totally understanding, and I appreciate them being very transparent about, hey, we want to make this as polished and, appease the fans that have been waiting for this, like 20, a little over 20 years technically. So, yeah, I mean, take your time, Pastor, all right? Take your time, all right? So, in other delays, this was probably the latest one, Cyberpunk 2077. I guess people could kind of see this coming because, I mean, boy, this game is being like amped up to be like the next freaking fucking Vincent Van Gogh of video games and shit. The motherfucking fucking Citizen Kane of video games and shit. So, I mean, it's understandable that it's built up a lot of hype. You got freaking Keanu Reeves, you're breathtaking, it's a lot coming into this. So I mean, it's totally understandable that they pushing this pretty substantially. I think this is like 5 months, like September 17th, 2020. This is like in the wake of the new next gen consoles coming out. So I'm curious if maybe there's gonna be some shift in, maybe they're going to do a surprise announcement around E3 where, it's like, well, because, a lot of people are talking about, well, I mean, might as well wait for the next console generation in that case, or wait or hold out until they release it on the next gen console, which is pretty inevitable since now especially it's way closer to release. So yeah, again with this, totally fine with it. I mean, April was looking to be a pretty busy ass month to begin with. So we got freaking Resident Evil 3, I think, coming out April 3rd. At least at the time. Resident Evil 3 coming out April 3rd. I'm pretty sure that's gonna still be solid and gonna come out on time. And then you got Final Fantasy 7 Remake coming out April 10th. So what, you got like a week, which technically the game, I don't see Resident Evil 3 going to be that long anyway. So that's what, roughly, generally for a standard Resident Evil game, 10 hours, if, not even counting Project Resistance, which I'll probably dabble with as well. And then you got Cyberpunk coming out the 18th. So you have a week to be like what I know Square said is gonna be a 40-hour game, or I don't think they actually said the definitive time, but for a RPG like Final Fantasy VII, they said it's gonna be like a legit single game, even though it's not gonna be the whole game technically. But for the segment it is, which is mainly the Midgar section, it's gonna be the standard length of a traditional JRPG or whatever, which at least the minimum is like 40 hours. So what? Huh? You expect me to beat Final Fantasy VII Remake 40 hours? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That wouldn't happen. So Cyberpunk 2077 would have to, sit in the back burner for a bit before I could actually play it. So this is totally fine with me. So now I get some breathing room and can play Resident Evil 3 and give it the attention and time it needs, and then play Final Fantasy VII Remake, give that the time it needs. And then down the road when 2077 comes out, I'm ready. I will be ready. Then the onslaught of E3 announcements. You never know. You might get some shadow drops not shadow drops, short time frames like, Fallout 4 where it had like 4 or 5 months, even Resident Evil 3 that had like a very short time to its release. So, I mean, considering it's the end of the generation, and especially with the new consoles coming out, that's pretty much guaranteed. But technically, should be able to get Cyberpunk done before, the next gen consoles come out and stuff like that. So, boy, man. And then on top of that, Square Enix just stay delaying stuff. Avengers is delayed pretty substantially too. I think that got moved to September 4th. Yeah, so that got moved to this September 4th as well. So, boy, all these delays. But as somebody who doesn't have that much time and likes to try to get through some games as much as possible, I'm totally fine with it. And at the end of the day, delays are only going to make the game better than what it currently would be if it were to release. So, totally fine with me. Again, take your time, Pastor. That's how I feel. Okay. Patience is a virtue. Best served cold. I don't know why. I don't know why I mixed that. I was very philosophical and very very a lot of wisdom just went straight just trash. Straight action B movie action B movie. Yeah, boy. Patience is a dish best served cold. I guess it kind of you could, if you kind of look at it in a very abstract way, it would kind of make sense. To be cold, one must be patient to withstand the cold. But then if you are in the cold too long, you probably gonna get sick anyway. But I mean, do we really gotta analyze it? No. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Why do we do this? Why do we dwell on this? This is not. It's not even necessary. Okay, damn it. I'm doing it myself, but boy. So let's boy. All right. So as a lot of you may know, Sakurai had an announcement January 16th today, or yeah, I forgot. I'm recording this episode. I started on the 16th. It's going into the 17th, unintentionally, because I had to watch the Bad Boys 3, and boy, I'm gonna tell you about that movie. I'll give you some deets. Not gonna spoil it towards the end of the podcast, but I digress. Yeah. So Sakurai early this morning, I didn't catch it. My roommate told me about it. Boy, I was groggy too. Oh man, So at least the rumors before the character was announced was that it would be Dante, who is one of the best characters in gaming, I'd say personally at least. He's been in a lot of other games, Marvel vs. Capcom, even PlayStation All Stars, which was basically a Smash Brothers clone. It was highly rumored he was gonna be the announced character, considering Devil May Cry 3 is coming out on Switch, as well as Devil May Cry 1 and 2 has already come out on Switch. And then the producer for Devil May Cry announced that he had an announcement on the same day as the Nintendo the Smash Direct, which is like as a hard to ignore correlation or coincidence between the two. So I mean, a lot of people deservedly so were assuming, oh yeah, Dante is getting announced, it gotta be. And then he has on Twitter, in terms of the announcement picture, it shows 3 question marks, a weird Sakurai posing like he dabbing with a 3 as well. So it's like it's hard to ignore Devil May Cry 3, which is planned to be announced and is gonna come out soon. I mean, the writing is pretty there to pretty much assume that it'd be a safe assumption. I mean, it's not like we pulling something out our asses or whatever. So yeah. And then there was a couple other theories too, like Kingdom Hearts 3 and then No More Heroes 3. So I mean, all those I totally would like. I mean, Sora being the lowest because I haven't really played too many Kingdom Hearts games, but definitely at the top of my list would be, I don't know if I've ever said this really, but definitely Dante. Probably Travis more than Dante, considering how niche he is and just how much I like him as a character and how relatable he is. So yeah, Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes first. Dante probably second. Then probably Axel from Streets of Rage. He makes total sense. He's from a beat 'em up. And then probably Battletoads. And I kind of want to put Double Dragon in there with him, but that's kind of realistically not feasible. That's why I also wouldn't put, I guess, Kiryu, even though Kiryu actually would be pretty good too. But I mean, that's I mean, I will want it, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure a lot of other people want that. So personally, that would be my desired characters to come out, which they did announce that after. But let's talk about the character they did announce, and it just feels just awkward. I don't know, because just how like it just feels like a troll, really. Like, but yeah. So the character they did announce was what is his name? I don't even Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and yet another damn Fire Emblem character that has a sword as well, which is a pretty common trope for a Fire Emblem character. And considering a lot of the roster in Smash Brothers does have a sword, man, this is just like, this is like, it's like the whole history of Fire Emblem is in this game. It's like, is an overrepresentation of Fire Emblem characters. And don't even get me wrong, it's not like I have anything against Fire Emblem, but it's like I'd rather have somebody else than that person, because we have a pretty decent representation of Fire Emblem characters already. We don't need any more. Stop it. So it just, from a well-rounded standpoint, it just doesn't make sense, personally. And obviously I think a lot of people have had that, disagreement with, Sakurai's choice in including yet another damn Fire Emblem character. We have so many. It might as well just be called Fire Emblem Ultimate, all right? Because it's like, damn, all right? We have like, what, eight damn Fire Emblem characters. That is enough. Just stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Just stop it already. That's too many damn Fire Emblem characters, all right? That's from one, specifically one IP. Because, you have Mario, which is pretty reasonable. You have pretty much the mainstays that, like, if I were to do a Nintendo mashup, yeah, of course, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser. Yeah, it all makes sense. But goodness, man, like 8 damn Fire Emblem characters. That is like too many damn Fire Emblem characters to have in a damn Smash game where it's a representation of all Nintendo and even, outside IP that have been tied to Nintendo in one way or another in the past. It's too many. Stop it. Stop it, Sakurai. What are you doing? What are you doing, Sakurai? Just stop it. So, yeah, man. And then, oh my God. It's very funny, though. I have to admit. It's just funny because you could tell it's like, it's an air of trolling in a sense, because it's like, I'm pretty certain he's aware that like nobody necessarily wanted this or preferred something else rather than this, which in turn disappointed a lot of folks. So after it was announced, you got Sakurai, he like putting up the poster. He's like, oh, he did the same, like, the typical TV show after school special trope, like, oh, didn't see you there. Oh, excuse me. I'm just putting up this Fire Emblem Three Houses poster with the new character, Byleth. He tight, right? I mean, it's not like we don't got too many Fire Emblem characters in the game already. So I mean, yeah. So yeah. So let me get into the details. And, he damn near spoiled the damn Fire Emblem Three Houses game. I got it. I was planning to play it. And, he damn spoiled a good amount of the game. I kind of wanted to discover some of that myself, but I understand. I mean, I had, like 7 months to play it. So that's ultimately on me. So, sure, fine, cool, whatever, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, Sakurai, thanks. So then he has he explains the 3. So he's like, you know what? 3 was actually binary. So basically it was some unorthodox way to count that basically lets you utilize your fingers in a more, I guess, useful fashion to count, which is like no damn way I would ever do that in my time when I got a damn calculator in my damn pocket. It's called a phone, Sakurai. It's called technology. All right, get with it. You're from Japan, Sakurai. You have technology more advanced than we do in America. Okay, damn it. You could tell I'm a little salty because I kind of wanted either Travis or Dante, and Sakurai, you took that from me. All right, you took that from me. Okay. It was one thing to get past the laggy and atrocious online to kind of play your game, Sakurai, with characters I want, but you just gonna put Byleth in the game. You're just gonna put damn another Fire Emblem, goddamn other Fire Emblem character in the damn game that I don't even want to play him. He looked cool. I mean, I give him that. I mean, but it's like there's so many other goddamn Fire Emblem characters. Why would I want to? He had a cool counter or armor move and stuff, and he technically got a bow and an axe, but he ultimately does have a sword, and he can kind of lash himself, or I forgot the term, latch himself to the stage like a lot of other fighters. So that's cool too. But I wanted Dante or Travis. I was ultimately hyped myself up for that, but I mean anybody, I would have been more okay. Oh, all right, sure, yeah, it makes sense. But it's just another Fire Emblem character. It's like 8th or 9th Fire Emblem character added to the game that could have been somebody else that would have rounded out the roster much better. So, but Sakurai knew what he was. I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing. He's like, I don't give a damn about what y'all think. Y'all gonna get this damn Byleth and y'all gonna take it, all right? Because I'm Father Sakurai. I don't give a damn what y'all say. Y'all gonna take this damn Byleth and y'all gonna have fun with him. You gonna use that damn power shoot special that insta kill and may potentially kill yourself if they have a reflective property, but you gonna love it, all right? Because I'm Father Sakurai and I make this shit. Right, you gonna love it. I got the damn best-selling game ever now. I beat fucking Street Fighter 2. You think I'm gonna care about you? You think I'm gonna care about what you want? Bitch, please. I'm goddamn Sakurai, bitch. That's what I think he's actually like. He just doesn't do that on camera. So, it's okay, Sakurai. I respect you though. I highly disagree with your choice of this character, but I respect it. So, pretty damn somber note to end Fighter Pass 1 on, for sure. But I feel like he did that intentionally to kind of like, well, man, yeah, boy, Fighter Pass 1 ended on a somber note. But we have a Fighter Pass 2 where you can get probably a lot of those characters that you were hoping to get for Fighter Pass 1. So, there's that. And if you pre-order now, so I can guarantee that you may or may not, you may get the character you want, or you may get, well, fuck it. We might put in 12 other damn Fire Emblem characters. Who knows? If you invest in the season pass though, I mean, you can play that game and, kind of see if we fuck you over or not. So, I mean, what? It's apparent the choice you should make, because I'm goddamn Sakurai. So, what are you gonna do? But I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in good faith. And I mean, he obviously did another season pass for another reason. I think he said in the direct that he confirmed all the characters, so he pretty much knows who all the characters in the next Fighter Pass is gonna be. So, and also apparently the Fighter Pass has one additional character compared to Fighter Pass 1. So I'm curious how that is, or how that's gonna play. I feel like one of those is going to be a very closely tied character to another, maybe to some extent, but we'll see. Maybe it just is a legitimate another character, maybe just the fact that it's going to be the last one, maybe not the ultimately last one, but who knows. But yeah, man. And then outside of that, they did announce some Mii fighters. Probably the most interesting one was Cuphead. So he looks just like Cuphead in terms of how he shoots and everything. So that's pretty damn cool. That's actually way cooler than Byleth, which I've seen a lot of memes on Twitter talking about that too. It's like, fuck Byleth. Oh, Cuphead though, boy, yeah. Why don't you bring more attention to this guy? So that's pretty cool. That does show a weird, nice sign or a little hint at, the buddiness of Microsoft and Xbox, which, is starting to lead some more credence to the possibility of the Chief maybe wanting to finish the fight with Smash Brothers. I was trying to do John's voice, but it didn't really work out. I'll work on it though. I'll work on it and get back to you. So yeah, man. Ugh. They had a couple other cool stuff. Oh, they had freaking Altair, which a moderate amount of people wanted, or out of just sheer randomness, like put Altair in there, I guess since he was also in Soul Calibur, I don't think 6, but I think 5. So yeah. Then I think Mega Man, a little bit more Mega Man representation in Mii Fighter shooters or whatever. Yeah, very disappointing, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. Very somber note. Very somber. I think what disappointed a lot of people too, I thought the expectation was that every character was going to be a third party character. So yeah, to have a pretty much first party character be announced as DLC was no. But I guess it's probably better now they did it than later. Cause you know what? That kind of makes more sense now that I'm thinking about it, as to why they didn't include him at the Game Awards. Cause boy, the booing would be immense in that damn hall. I tell you what, I'd be one of the highest there. Like, yeah, boo! This is horrible. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Probably more just dead silence than anything, but it'd be pretty apparent. The reception would be pretty immediate in the stage. So I think I saw Jeff Keighley tweet too, like, oh boy, I kind of missed the bullet on that one. So yeah, you can tell in the threads, video game enthusiast threads as well. People are voicing their opinions very much so, as to their disagreement with the lack of inclusion of a particular character, or including yet another damn freaking Fire Emblem character. Cause that's what we needed. We needed another damn Fire Emblem character. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I love me some damn Fire Emblem, but Jesus, 8 damn Fire Emblem characters. We don't need that many. Kill somebody off. That'd actually be pretty dope, because it's Fire Emblem, and that's the kind of the as Sakurai explained in his video, the kind of gimmick of the game is that when a character dies, they die permanently, and you have to live with that unless you want to reload your save, which I've done, which has led me to not fully complete a Fire Emblem game. But I do love the experience. That's probably one of the few tactical games I have played and will play. But yeah, that would be actually awesome. Like, what if in a direct, Sakurai actually killed off a character, technically, actually just straight up kill him off, or like, oh man, damn it. That would be funny. That would oh my god. If Sakurai just knew his audience, that would be fucking funny, man. That would crack me the hell up. He actually kill off a character and they never come back. they manually remove them from the game. Probably, I mean, obviously, I guess they wouldn't do that, but kind of do it in the trailer sense or whatever. That'd be kind of dope. I'd kind of want that, actually. Or even better yet, oh man, they could do it. They just kill off a damn fucking clone and then replace them with a different character. That'd be kind of dope. A character that would round out the roster more. I'd be totally fine with that, but that's just my opinion. So, yeah. So, boy, I vented too much on this, but I mean, hey, I felt some way about that. I felt some damn way about that. I felt some particular way about that. Just saying. Moving on. Resident Evil 3, baby. It's getting so close. It's so damn close. They dropped a trailer this week. And boy, does Nemesis look fucking dope. At least initially, it was a little weird to kind of warm up to his design, but yeah, seeing him in motion and in the gameplay, he looks pretty damn sick. I approve of the redesign. In the motion, he looks pretty dope. He has a rocket launcher now that looks like a Super Nintendo scope, so that's kind of cool. I wonder if they intentionally did that. But no, it looks pretty similar to what it looked like in the original game. So that's kind of cool. They didn't show that. They didn't show the rocket launcher in gameplay. They did show the flamethrower. So that kind of leads me to think that it might be a minigun as well that he might like switch to at some point in the game, or maybe it's some random element to it or something like that. All in all, that would be pretty kind of dope. That'd be pretty damn dope. You know, giving a nod to the one thing they kind of did that was kind of cool in the movie, even though as a whole it was pretty atrocious. I'd be fine with it. That'd be kind of dope. Yeah, the trailer looked good. We saw the hunter in action. Well, slightly. He looks pretty damn huntery. Even more, you know, conniving and reptilian and devious as even the first Resident Evil remake. So I'm curious to see how he's gonna play, how he's translated into the new Resident Evil engine, and kind of how he plays in the third person sense. I guess we kind of got a hint of it in Revelations, where they had that hunter segment in Revelations. So maybe I'm pretty certain they're gonna deviate off that to some extent. So they showed the train station. That was one notable thing too. So that's a pretty big change from the original game, where it's now, instead of the cable car, it's a legit train station, which looks to be basically the same train station as Resident Evil Outbreak. So I'm really loving and highly respecting Capcom for acknowledging Outbreak and providing some continuity, because you kind of had a little bit of that in Resident Evil Remake, where you had a lot of the characters that were in Outbreak in the particular scenario, Desperate Times, that takes place before the events of Resident Evil 2, or technically it might even be a little bit of some tie-in to RE3 as well. So yeah, love that you know, love being acknowledged for fans of Outbreak, because that game is actually great. I really hope I feel like they're gonna do that at some point. Maybe not now, but maybe down the line, when they're out of ideas and out of remaking all the older games. Who knows? Yeah. They showed a little bit more Carlos. Showed him playing a little bit, so it is at least confirmed he is gonna be playable. At least we don't know to the extent of how he is, but it seems like he's just gonna be the same way. That he's just gonna have his little segment, or maybe actually this trailer hinted at more segments, because they've never been in the RPD department, which they were in the trailer as well. They show Nemesis in action in terms of using his whip more, his tentacles more, which is pretty cool. I think they kind of hinted at where Jill's gonna get infected as well. I'm curious how they're gonna treat that, because I mean, obviously in the initial trailer they did talk about or show kind of what at least is insinuated, that she's gonna be infected, and kind of her internal battles with being infected, and kind of how it looks like to us in a sense. So also love the gimp mask for Nemesis. So it's like he had it initially, and I guess at some point it's gonna come off. That's pretty cool. I like that design. It's like he's and how his whole character design is set up. He's like just wrapped up in this weird. It seems like just like what is the Duffy? Not Duffy. What is the trash bag brand? It starts with D. Let me look it up. Because it's gonna bother the hell out of me. Trash bag. What is it? Duffy? I want to say Duffy so bad. Hefty. Yeah, Hefty. I'm pretty sure that's what I meant. Hefty. So yeah, got the damn hefty bags all on them with a little caution in between. I love it. I love it a lot. It looks like that heart thing isn't as pronounced as I thought it would be. So that's cool. I'm pretty sure it's a weak point to some extent. I would assume. But who knows? Or maybe it's just literally protected or just kind of like a red herring to kind of distract you in some way. But all in all, man, it's looking good. The environments are looking good, especially outside. Loving the outside environment of Raccoon City. How they have it spruced up. You can see a lot of the survivors now, which is different. That it seems like there might be some component of you maybe possibly actually save them, or maybe more than likely they're probably just gonna show you people getting decimated in front of you to kind of add to the kind of, I guess, visceralness of the outbreak. But nonetheless, be pretty cool to see how that all plays out. But all in all, loving it, loving the detail. This actually, this personally is all I'd need. I think they could pretty much just be silent after this now, and then just wait for the release, because it's like I'm clearly sold. That's all I really needed. So, boy, I can't wait for it to come out. Probably want to play the original one, just to refresh my memory on kind of what they did different and stuff. So who knows? Maybe that might come at some point. Might stream that. We'll see. So, and he doesn't look as horrible as the art was making him out to be. He doesn't look as pronounced now. He looks more similar to what he would look like if remade. He doesn't look as drastically different, if that makes sense. So overall, I approve. Cannot wait to get terrified and not feel safe, because nobody's safe. Yeah. Then next, boy oh boy, kind of helping me cheer me up in regards to, the immense disappointment that was that troll ass announcement of Byleth, bitcheth. That's all he could be for all I care. I'll probably be different after I play Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but as of now, he's called bitcheth because he does not deserve to be on this roster, because he's yet another damn Fire Emblem character that we don't need, that we could have had Dante. I'm just saying, okay? I think I let it all out, hopefully. But yeah, so at least initially coming out, I think like this was a week before that the producer of Capcom, or one of the producers at least, announced that there was a special announcement regarding the Switch version of Devil May Cry 3. So my first initial reaction was, it's gotta be a style switch mode, because that's like probably the biggest in retrospect thing missing for Devil May Cry 3, especially after 4 came out, which is why I felt conflicted between 3 and 4. But now, man, this is hands down going to be my favorite Devil May Cry ever in terms of the overall series, because that was the only gripe I had with Devil May Cry, is that you couldn't switch on the fly in terms of your styles, which is what Devil May Cry 4 showed us, that we needed in Devil May Cry 3. But obviously they wouldn't do that technically, at least at the time. But thank God our answers have been prayed. Our answers have been prayed. That's what I wanted to say. Our prayers have been answered. And we did get confirmation with a nice ass trailer showing style switching has been confirmed. I guess it's in this separate new mode called freestyle mode, which I'm just assuming is just basically just a mode with style switching. And then obviously you probably could go back to the traditional mode if for some strange reason you want to play Devil May Cry like that, knowing that you have this option now. So yes, if all goes well, this is definitely going to be by far my favorite, definitely solidify one of my top favorite games of all time because of this. Even without the style switching, it was up there, but this knocked it up definitely a few more notches because, man, being able to switch on the fly is so damn great. So cannot wait for that. He also did tease some other details potentially that might happen, it seems like, because he said there was an announcement today or yesterday, the 16th, and then there was going to be an announcement on the 30th of January and then one on February 13th. So at least the rumors that have been going around is that one is obviously what's been announced today, which is the freestyle mode. And then two was going to be a weapon switch mode where basically it is a more customizable version of the weapon switch system. Because in this one, you can only switch between two weapons, two handguns or two ranged weapons and two melee weapons. But traditionally, at least after 3, pretty much it's been 3, at least as the standard. But who knows? With this one, you probably might be able to customize as much as you want, basically in the line with the style switcher mod for Devil May Cry 3 on PC that you might have seen me stream a while ago. But yeah. So then after that, a lot of people are thinking that it's gonna be a co-op mode with Dante and Virgil, which would be fucking sick, fucking awesome if they do that. Probably, maybe more realistically, it might just be Bloody Palace, which I'd totally be fine with. Just being able to play with your buddy to go through the palaces like that'd be pretty dope in my opinion. Or possibly, potentially, the whole campaign or, whole missions, all the missions that way, which would be pretty cool. I could see it. Probably it would, that'd probably just be the suspense of belief in terms of, well, I'm fighting Virgil as pretty much my main protagonist, but he's with me. But kind of probably a suspense of belief, or maybe they're just two Dantes. One is just like has a blue coat, you have a red coat, and you maybe just have the customizability of doing either or maybe after you beat it with Dante, you unlock Virgil to play with co-op mode wise. It could be anything. And what's kind of lead more credence to that is that they did list the 2-player mode is listed on the eShop page for the game. But for those that don't know, in the original game, you could also plug in a second controller, particularly if you had the doppelganger style unlocked, which basically duplicates a shadow of yourself. And a second player, if he was plugged in, could control that character in that way. But I don't know. I don't think they announced that or added that in the original game, so I don't think they would have another player if that was the case. So at least as of now, it's purely speculation, but I think it's a pretty safe bet considering how they're like hyping this up in terms of these announcements. I would assume there'd be pretty substantial announcements that directly pertain to Devil May Cry 3. Otherwise, I guess it could be hinting at. I know he said a particular slogan that hinted at Virgil's dialogue in Devil May Cry 3, I think, but could possibly be a hint at a special edition of Devil May Cry 5, where a highly requested Virgil is playable or has his own new campaign now, and like Trish and Lady, even maybe Nico is playable now. That all would be pretty great, pretty awesome, pretty fantastic. But only time will tell. We'll have to wait until January 30th, which admittedly is not too far. And then after that, February 13th. So, all in all, I am very just satisfied with style switching alone, because that is probably the biggest gripe I had with Devil May Cry 3, and now that has been resolved. Without having to do all the dirty work and mod the game and try to, do some manual editing of files to make it how you want and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool how the modded community and seeing it in action actually got it ultimately, because I'm pretty sure they've seen the style switcher mod and maybe mess with it possibly there to like, you know what? Yeah, it's about time we should do it. And of course, you're switching on your Switch with your style. I'm switching because I'm a Switch, and I'm switching on the Switch with my Switch. It's a given. It's a given. It was bound to happen. Maybe, it wasn't, but it was very great for Capcom to do that. It seems like this is probably going to be exclusive to the Switch. I don't think they're going to patch this into the Devil May Cry collections for like Xbox One and PS4, but it would be pretty great if they did. I totally will play those versions, because I think I haven't actually played them since I already beat it on PS3, the PS3 version of them. I was like, I was going a little bit with Devil May Cry 1, and I was like, there's a lot of other stuff I need to play. So yeah, I think that covers news for this week. I did it. I got through it. So now let's talk about what I've been playing. Boy, yeah, over this break, I played a lot. I'm actually very satisfied with how much I did play, because that's always been like a reoccurring, I guess, internal battle. It's like, man, I should really be playing something right now, getting it out the way, getting on my backlog, whatever. But I'm very satisfied with what I played. So first, I guess, notable game I played was Astral Chain. I did come back to Astral Chain. I played maybe about 3 hours when it came out, and then dropped it since it was like a onslaught of other stuff coming out. But I did play it and finish it, and it was pretty great. It was pretty great. After I got the hang of the kind of mechanics of the game. You get different bastions, I think, or legions, that basically switch up your attacks to an extent, and that was cool. That kind of kept things fresh and interesting, switching and experimenting, seeing what worked and stuff like that. But overall, I really did thoroughly enjoy the concept of the game. Such a creative idea that only the people at Platinum would think of. So I had a pretty thorough, great experience with Astral Chain. I do recommend it, especially if you have a Switch. Jesus, that game looks beautiful on the Switch, man. Considering the technical limitations of the Switch compared to other systems, that game looks fantastic. But overall, yeah, I had a great damn time with Astral Chain. Killer 7, man. So this game, I've been it's always been on my list to play, but I've never gotten around it until now. And the funny part too was freaking not recently, but this was a couple years ago, I actually got around to actually buying the game for the GameCube, which is to my knowledge the best version next to the Steam version that did come out, like, I swear to you, like a month or two after I got the GameCube version. then they freaking announced the damn Steam version of the game. I'm like, well, great. So I guess I just bought the GameCube version for nothing then. But it'd probably be cool if I ever wanted to play. And you could tell the controls definitely were made for the GameCube version, considering it's a weird, it's not necessarily hard to explain, I guess, but it's man, it's a game you've never played before, a game type you've never played before. That's, I'd say, a pretty safe explanation of the game first and foremost. A lot of people are comparing it to art, which is very valid. It's very accessible, I'd say. There is a learning curve, not necessarily high, but I mean, it's just a matter of aiming. Like, if you played first person shooter before, I think you'll feel right at home with this game. So at least the general gist or gameplay loop, if you will. It's weird. It's hard. It's like I'm having a difficult time describing it accurately in my head, because it's got a lot of aspects to it. So it's like a lot of hints of Resident Evil, which makes a lot of sense since Shinji Mikami was involved in the game, as I think he was executive producer. So you have a lot of, survival horror, tropes, if you will, where it's like, puzzle elements and, put this item here to unlock this item to go to this place and stuff like that, which I was very surprised by. I totally wasn't expecting that for this game. And then you have, a lot of people think it's on rails, which is pretty true, but it feels more dynamic than that because you can go back and forth. When I think of on rails, I think there's just no way you can move back after you go forward, which in this game you can go back and forth. It's just you're on a set plane that you can only go to pre-designated locations within the map or level you're on. So there is that, but I don't know. I feel like it's more interactive than being on rails technically, but you are technically on rails, if that makes sense, but not in the conventional sense, if that makes sense. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like I made it sound more complicated, but whatever. I think you get the general concept there. But so basically you deal with these enemies called the Heaven Smiles, which are basically these monsters basically that were on this universe. I don't know why I'm making it more abstract than it is, but that's the general gist in terms of the common threat. So basically how you shoot them or kill them is basically the optimal way is to shoot their weak points, which will show almost all the time. It's not immediately. You have to kind of aim around or wait for it to pop up for some enemies, but the general gist is to shoot their weak point, and then after that they instantly die. You can shoot them conventionally, but that's not the recommended way to play the game because they're much harder to kill in that way. And especially considering you'll have a lot of them at once come at you, so you have to really one, prioritize like who's coming at you first and try to kill them first, and aim on top of that, aim at their weak spot to kill them faster, to kill the next person faster, to aim at their weak spot, so on and so forth. Then, deeper into the game, you get a lot of deviation from that. So you have a lot of different enemies that have that same philosophy, but they have different weak points in a lot of interesting ways that kind of, help mix things up, kind of, switch things around. So you have kind of like a lot of that going on. But on top of that, you just have the freaking batshit crazy convoluted ass story that is only something that Suda51 could do. I don't even think like Hideo could really even, like, after playing this game, I'm like, man, boy, Hideo need to take some notes from Suda right now, because in terms of just how convoluted and just like hard to stay with from a cohesion standpoint. Yeah, this game is all over the place, but it seems to have a theme, a common theme and message to some extent, but at the same time it's very what's the word, ambiguous and vague about things. So it's very weird. And a lot of the tone shifts in some weird ways, but overall, yeah, it's just very hard to make out like what actually is going on here. What's, what is with these multiple personalities? How does this is this real? Is this fake? What? And then you get a little bit of answers, answers toward the end, but still, it's like a lot of just more unanswered questions than answered. Which is just, and it's just a lot of weirdness. And I totally, that's why I was totally sold in this game, because I am a fan of that weird Adult Swim, just random, so random it's good type stuff. And that's totally up this alley. So if you were a fan of No More Heroes, which is definitely probably the first Suda game I played that totally like got me hooked on his games and kind of seeing his work down the line, this is definitely worthwhile. I wouldn't say it's as good as No More Heroes, because I tend to gravitate towards that combat and gameplay more, but I'd say it's probably right under for Suda51 games. I would probably put it over Shadows of the Dam, so it'd probably be No More Heroes 1, 2, Killer 7, Shadows of the Damned, Killer is Dead. I think that's all of them. I didn't play the interactive novels he made, like I think the Silver Case. I plan to play that at some point, but yeah, so at least ranking wise, it's definitely up there. I was very surprised. I guess on top of that, I didn't know what to expect with this game. I just knew that it was a weird on-rail shooter where you had 7 personalities. But that was it. But yeah, after playing it and beating it, man, it's just fantastic. Just a lot of ways. The soundtrack is excellent, superb. I think the same composer, Masakuchi Takeda. I'm probably butchering that. I'm sorry, but love his damn music. Love his soundtrack. And No More Heroes, of course, iconic. And you could see where the inspiration came from in Killer 7. So overall, if you are into weird stuff, just weirdness, the weirdness so weird that it's like engaging and interesting. I can't even say that. It's just for any person that maybe is even not a hardcore gamer, or maybe not a gamer, I say. But then I can't necessarily say that, because it does take a little bit of some gaming ingenuity, literacy. But yeah, I'd say try it out if you haven't. It's a great experience if you're into that type of stuff. Some people aren't, which is totally understandable, but just to know what you're kind of in for if you were to mess with that game. Because it's great. I love it. I do love it. I plan to play it again, because I'm just like, after beating, I'm like, what? Kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2. I was like, what? That's kind of, yeah, your reaction after you beat it, I'd say. So yeah, I kind of want to play it again, see if I pick up on some stuff that maybe I didn't notice after knowing a lot of the details of the story, stuff like that. So I may play that again. I know I played it on normal, so we'll probably maybe stream it on it's some other mode that's harder, where I think their weak points, the enemy's weak points, don't show. You have to kind of guess where they're at for the enemies that have that attribute. Or maybe the Killer 8 mode. That's all I'm going to say. for that, but we'll see. But that's definitely raised on my list of the very rare games that I want to play again after I beat it. I was like, I just needed some time to reflect on what I saw. So, I kind of looked for guidance mentally online with some videos kind of explaining like what was the message for this game, because it does leave you with some just, I'm not sure what this was for, which I felt I kind of got those answers. So after that, played Rise of the Tomb Raider. I mean, it's Tomb Raider. It's like, action with exploring tombs. I mean, that's really it. It was fine. I beat it. I'm a critical path that I wasn't really interested in doing the tombs necessarily. It's not really why I play these types of games. I like the action aspect more than the exploration part of it for these particular games. But thoroughly had a great time. I was upgrading my bow. I was getting all them headshots. That is actually probably the most fulfilling thing about Tomb Raider. Just getting all these damn arrows and headshotting dudes. What the hell was that? Then just getting them all in a row in unison. And then sneak kills, which I felt Tomb Raider did scratch that itch very much so. So I had a great time with that. I've been putting that game off for the longest. I got that like in 2015. I think like free with a graphics card I got at the time. And yeah, I'm glad I actually got around to finish it. It's always been on my mind like, yeah, man, I should finish it. It's not that long either. And then I eventually did. I eventually attained the gumption to finish it. And River City Girls, man, this game it surprised me in a lot of ways. I was familiar with the Kunio-kun series to some extent, but didn't play it that much. Like, I have a lot of the games, but I've never put any decent amount of time into it. Like a couple of the 3DS ones. And I think, well, technically I got one on the Switch via the eShop. But yeah, never really put much time into it. But man, this is probably the best version of it, I'd assume, considering the depth of the game. But basically the general plot of River City Girls is that you're two girls, high school, I'm pretty sure high school, that the boyfriends who are the main antagonists of the River City games, Kunio-kun, and I forgot the other guy. But basically, you're basically set to save them through this journey through school. So has a lot of cool, funny moments. The voice acting is excellent. I really like the exploration aspect to a beat 'em up game. I don't think I've ever played that outside of, I guess, evidently Kunio-kun. I didn't know the extent of it, and seeing the loop of like this type of game, which was pretty fulfilling. And it didn't overstay its welcome, which I appreciated as well. It felt like it was the length it needed to be for a beat 'em up, especially where you are exploring and progressing through the game in that sense. You had a couple, extra missions to do and stuff like that. So overall, highly recommend River City Girls if you're into beat 'em ups. It was a pretty fun experience, especially any game that lets you experiment with juggling combos and stuff like that. I think is always a great game in my book, which is definitely what this game was. So highly recommend River City Girls. Pretty great. Then for like the 25th or so time, I played Resident Evil 4 again and beat it again. Man, this is definitely my favorite game of all time. Cause like every time I leave the game just loving it still, and even appreciating new stuff, aspects, stuff I didn't even know. Resident Evil 4, man. Yeah, I have to give it hands down my favorite game of all time, hands down. And yeah, so I took advantage of being able to play this on the Switch. So I over the break I did go to MagFest. So a couple of friends had a great time there. It was a wonderful time. So pretty much around the span of my trip there, I put a decent amount of time on Resident Evil 4 for Switch, and man, just being able to play this, my favorite game of all time, on the go, it's just great. I had a wonderful time with it. So pretty much I had to unlock everything again. So I played through the main campaign, all the side campaigns, the mercenaries, earning all the hand cannon and stuff like that. So pretty much did that, and I still had a great time, man. A game that is still my favorite game of all time, man. I don't think that's gonna change. So, but yeah, I guess to go in a little bit of details of MagFest, for those that don't know, basically stands for Music and Gaming Festival. Where, at least for me, I mainly go there for the games. I don't really go to the concerts and stuff, but there's a lot of that around if you choose to do so. But it has a lot of cool gaming aspects to it. Probably the biggest pillars of it is the arcade, which is just like a traditional arcade. Pretty much a lot of arcade game types. Then they have the traditional fighting game areas where a lot of the popular, common, classic and new fighting games they have for people to play. And then they have a console area where pretty much all the consoles, old and new, you can play. They had a dope ass Typing of the Dead, which I don't think I played for the GameCube, and I like straight up played through the whole game, which was pretty fun. Especially somebody who I consider myself pretty proficient in typing. It was pretty great. And then just the terminologies and stuff like that. What else? I played Dynamite Cop. They had that there, so I was like, I have to. I never played it in its entirety. I'm like, this is definitely gonna happen. So it did. I didn't know it was that short, but I guess it's close to its sequel, Dynamite Cop, on the Dreamcast. They remind me a lot of that, but obviously they are the same developer, and it's, I guess, pretty much a spiritual successor to that game. So makes a lot of sense after the fact. What else? Played some shooters. I played a Time Crisis because they had a cool ass shooting gallery, or shooting alley they called it, I think, where it basically had all these old school CRTs and old school consoles hooked up. Since, for those that don't know, you can't use light gun games on like LED, LCD, or pretty much any modern TVs. They only work on, due to the technology, where it basically takes a picture of whenever you shoot the gun, from a technology standpoint. That's the only way that works, is on old school tube CRT TVs. So so being able to play those was pretty fun. Had a great time overall. They also had a dope ass LAN room, which basically pretty much a traditional LAN room where all these strangers are hooked up to computers, to networks, and can play games. And they had like a central chat where people can set up games, playing with each other and stuff like that. It was pretty dope. Unfortunately, I didn't have I'm a desktop gamer, PC gamer, so I felt like a little peasant compared to all my friends that did have gaming laptops. So I felt pretty inadequate and alone. I just felt like lonely. I was like, well, all right, guys. All right, you guys are playing the forest. All right, okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You guys are playing a Hunt Showdown. Oh, that's cool. Cool. I kind of would want to play, but maybe next year. So that's kind of lit some fire under my ass to get a decent gaming laptop. So next year I'll be able to participate in the festivities to that extent. But yeah, overall, wonderful experience. Always love MagFest. I'm definitely gonna make it a a tradition to try to go every year if possible. And yeah, I recommend you guys do too. Well, I mean, if you're into that stuff, or if that sounds cool to you, I don't know. I don't know what you like. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you what I liked. Okay. You're welcome. Oh yeah. And yeah, I just came from watching Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they
come for you?
I don't know why I did that, but I did. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they
come for you?
That just sounds creepy. I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah. Just came back from Bad Boys 3, and man, it was great. It was great. If you loved Bad Boys 1 and 2, it is pretty much just the exact same essence of those, which is what I felt right at home with. You had the same, typical banner between Mike Lowry and Marcus. I forgot his name. Marcus and Mike. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. You still have that chemistry and that dynamic buddy cop, good cop, bad cop, or, more willing and daring Will Smith's character, and then more just goofy and kind of reserved Martin Lawrence. It was excellent. Yeah, it's probably, I feel like it may have not have been as good as Bad Boys 2, but I'd say it's right behind it. I have to watch it again. Bad Boys 2 in particular to get a feel, but it's definitely a worthy Bad Boys movie, and definitely recommend seeing it. It's it was a great movie. It was just fun all around. Had some interesting twists I did not see coming. But all in all, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Me being a fan of Bad Boys 1 and 2. So Bad Boys. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil any more than that. So yeah, and I think that's gonna do it for this week, this episode. Good to be back. Actually, a pretty good note to come back on in 2020. Man, had a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff, but I think some of the good stuff evened it out, fortunately. So, yeah. All in all, you can catch me on Twitch TV/ASwitch, where I do stream this podcast live, at least for now. I plan to incorporate gaming more if I kind of can get a rhythm. Maybe not within this week or so, due to a lot of work stuff I have to take care of, but outside of that, if all things fall into place, I ideally plan to start doing more of that, if possible. So feel free to also rate this podcast on your popular podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube Music, Google Podcasts. Also, let me go on a rant real quick. Google Podcasts been tripping because it's all my older episodes have been having this weird audio crawl issue, which I haven't had with any of the other podcast sites I've hosted on. So then I reached out to their support to say, hey, what's going on with this audio crawl? I haven't gotten it for any of my other podcasts on my other platforms. And they're like, well, yeah, that's you. It's not us. So good luck with that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. I'm like, well, all right. Okay. Sure. Whatever. So I'll probably dig in more to that at some point to get those more viable. Also plan to put these up on YouTube. I'm not sure. I may just put all the ones that I've been doing live up, and maybe gradually do the older ones that were MP3 only, because it's just been a pain to render those since it just seems to be so minimal. But who knows? I think that might be the best course of action is just to have that periodically out with whenever I do release the full podcast. But yeah. So I think that's pretty much it for housekeeping. Oh yeah, if you have any questions you like to be answered on the show, should have brought something to drink, but feel free to submit an email to aswitchtv@gmail.com if I get enough, or I may just do it one by one. We'll see after. Ideally, I want to just consolidate it to a particular segment, but we'll see. Yeah. Outside of that, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Good to be back and made it to 2020. Here's to more podcasting, consistently, mind you, outside of this, acknowledged hiatus I went on, hiatus/break, if you will. But yeah, 2020, baby, we are in here. Yeah, it's 2020. We're never gonna get that until 1,000 more years from now, or 1,010 more years from now. 3030. That's just crazy to me. I don't know. Are we gonna even be here in 3030? I mean, I won't be here, but it's like the universe gonna be here. I'm sorry. I'm just getting all existential. I don't mean to do that. But until next time, guys. I messed it up.